My name is Richard Hayes. I'm 55 years old, and I still remember the night my own son humiliated my wife and me in our own home. I had spent my entire life giving him everything I could, but I never imagined that one day he would tell us to sit on the floor while his wife's parents enjoyed our dining table. I lived in Colorado Springs with my wife, Linda, and our only son, Adam. Linda and I had been married for 30 years. Adam was our world. We paid for his education, helped him buy his first car, supported him when he was struggling, and made sure he never felt alone. Then, one Friday evening, Adam walked through our front door with a young woman. "Mom, Dad, this is Sophia. We got married." I stared at him. "Married? You didn't even tell us?" Adam shrugged. "It's my life, Dad. I made my decision." I was furious, but Linda touched my arm. "Richard, he's our son. If he's happy, we should accept her." So I swallowed my anger and welcomed Sophia into our home. At first, everything seemed normal, but soon Sophia began making sarcastic comments about us. She criticized Linda's cooking, mocked my clothes, and called our lifestyle old-fashioned. I stayed quiet because I didn't want to lose my son. But then Adam changed too. One evening, I told him, "Son, don't speak to your mother that way." He looked at me coldly. "Dad, Sophia is my wife now. You need to adjust." That sentence hurt more than I could explain. Then came the night that changed everything. Sophia's parents were coming over for dinner. She proudly announced that they would sit at the dining table. Then she looked at Linda and me. "You two can sit on the floor tonight. My parents are guests, and they deserve the table." Linda looked shocked. I turned towards Adam. "Son, you're not going to say anything?" Adam smiled. "Dad, it's just one night. Let Sophia be happy." Something inside me broke. I said nothing. I simply walked into my bedroom, opened an old financial file, and began reviewing every account and asset I had established for my son's future. For the first time in my life, I asked myself one question. If Adam believed he no longer needed his parents, was it time to let him prove it? The next morning, I made a decision that would change his life forever.
The next morning, I didn't act out of anger. I contacted my financial advisor and attorney and explained everything. I made it clear that I wanted to take only the steps that were legally within my authority. Some of the financial accounts and assets I had established for Adam's future were under my control. I restricted his access. That money had been saved for him over many years. I had always considered it his safety net, but I realized that if I continued protecting him from every consequence, he would never learn to stand on his own. That evening, Adam came into my room. "Dad, are you still angry about what Sophia said?" I looked at him. "It wasn't about sitting on the floor, Adam. It was about watching you stand there while your mother was humiliated." He became angry. "You always want to control my life. I'm an adult now." I calmly replied, "Then it's time for you to take responsibility for your decisions." The next morning, Adam tried to access his money. He couldn't. A few minutes later, my phone rang. "Dad, what did you do to my accounts?" "I restricted the financial support I had been providing," I said. "You're ruining my life." "No, Adam, I'm showing you what life looks like when you make your own decisions." He hung up. But the worst was yet to come. When Sophia discovered that Adam no longer had the financial security she expected, her attitude changed immediately. "You told me your parents would always take care of you," she shouted. "I thought they would," Adam replied. Sophia laughed bitterly. "And now what do you have?" A few days later, Sophia packed her bags. Adam tried to stop her. "Sophia, I love you." She looked at him coldly. "I can't build a future with someone who has no financial stability." Then she walked out. The house became silent. Adam had lost his wife, his financial comfort, and the life he had taken for granted. For weeks, he struggled to find work and affordable housing. He finally understood what it meant to pay his own bills and face his own problems. Then, one cold evening, someone knocked on our door. It was Adam. He was holding a small bag. His clothes were wrinkled, his eyes were tired, and the confidence he once carried was gone. He looked at me and whispered, "Dad, I was wrong." Then he asked the question I had been waiting to hear. "Can I come inside?" I opened the door, but I still had one question in my heart. Could I forgive my son after everything he had done?
Adam stood in front of me with tears in his eyes. Dad, Mom, I'm sorry. I treated you terribly. I chose Sophia's approval over the people who had loved me my entire life. Linda was crying, but she couldn't immediately hug him. I looked at my son. We don't hate you, Adam, but the trust you destroyed can't be rebuilt with one apology. He lowered his head. Then give me time. I want to earn it back. I nodded. Then don't prove it with words. Prove it with your actions. Adam left that night. The following months were difficult for him. He found a modest job, rented a small apartment, and began paying his own expenses. For the first time, he understood the difference between receiving help and appreciating the people who helped you. A few months later, he sent me a letter. Dad, losing money wasn't the hardest part. Losing you and Mom was. I thought money was my strength. Now I understand that your love was my greatest blessing. I read the letter several times. Linda looked at me. He's still our son. I know. That's why we can't punish him forever. But he has to learn that a parent's love should never be mistaken for weakness. A few weeks later, Adam returned. This time, he wasn't asking for money. He stood at the door and said, Dad, Mom, I don't want anything from you. I only want the chance to prove that I've changed. I opened the door. He stepped inside. I placed my hand on his shoulder. You're my son. I can't erase that relationship, but you have to rebuild my trust yourself. Adam began to cry and hugged me. I didn't give him his old life back overnight. Instead, I gave him something more valuable, a chance to earn his place in our family again. Over time, he really did change. He called Linda to check on her. He visited us without asking for money. He helped around the house, and most importantly, he stopped treating our love like something he was entitled to. Sophia never came back, and Adam never tried to bring her back. Today, at 55, I look back on everything and understand one painful truth. Parents should love their children deeply. They should support them, guide them, and help them when they fall. But parents should never believe that love requires them to accept humiliation. Helping your child is love. Allowing your child to destroy your dignity is not. I didn't take my son's future away from him. I simply stopped protecting him from the consequences of his own choices, and that became the most important lesson of his life. When you treat your parents' love like a weakness, one day you may discover that all the money and comfort in the world cannot replace the people who loved you when you had nothing.